Dresden, you got your character sheet? A pencil? The AON site opened up to first edition? Of course, the books will work too, but there's a lot of books.
I believe I have all the requested materials for this review. Maybe? There are many tomes involved in this one.
I know. I've run more than 2 games every week for years now. Let's go into a bit of the history about the game first. Pathfinder is a fantasy role-playing game based off the 3.5 Dungeons & Dragons system created by Paizo, a company made of people who once worked on creating the previously stated edition of the previously stated game. When Hasbro bought the company and combined them with Wizards of the Coast, they let the subgroup of the tabletop games group do what they will until they saw it as profitable. The company was told to make it more like a video game, and to put everything under the game under their direct license, which would make books like the D20 settings or the Book of Erotic Fantasy actually criminal without some money going back into Hasbro's hands. The licensing changes didn't really amount to anything because there were just too many other companies using their allowance to do anything. But the more like a video game thing led to 4th edition, which I won't talk about. Now, Paizo's Pathfinder game is named after the Pathfinder Society in the setting, an explorers guild who wants to explore new places and find new things, from old relics to lost magics. This game takes place on Golarion, a planet. Yes, a planet in a star system that shares the same name with our own, called the Solar System. I could go into various different planets of the system, but let's focus on Golarion, the third rock from the sun.
Like Terra?
Yeah, exactly. Though Golarian's solar system has a lot more planets in its rings, assuming we're not talking about their asteroid belt, the Diaspora. I could honestly go into this game a lot, but I should review this crap, shouldn't I? Well, let's start with character creation. If you know 3.5, it's just a hop, skip, and a jump away. The only real difference are the number of classes, archetypes, and skills. You've got your standard base classes, some hybrid classes, some adapted classes, psychic classes, and the Unchained as well. Let's list them in alphabetical order. Alchemist, Antipaladin, Arcanist, Barbarian, Bard, Bloodrager, Brawler, Cavalier, Cleric, Druid, Fighter, Gunslinger, Hunter, Inquisitor, Investigator, Kineticist, Magus, Medium, Mesmerist, Monk, Ninja, Occultist, Oracle, Paladin, Psychic, Ranger, Rogue, Samurai, Shaman, Shifter, Skald, Slayer, Sorcerer, Spiritualist, Summoner, Swashbuckler, Vigilante, Warpriest, Witch, and Wizard. Yes, that's 40 classes. Barbarian, Monk, Rogue, and Summoner have 2 versions of it. Each class, including the Unchained ones, have their own list of archetypes too, which change each class to be more built around their idea. Think of it like this. Say you're playing a fighter. Great! That's your basic combat style. You fight, but you can go into the archetypes and specify a little more. Like the trench fighter. In taking this archetype at level 1, it'll change or replace some abilities. Trench fighter essentially letting you become an American soldier in the Second World War. Shotgun! There's also skills that are different. In 3.5, you get skill points based on your class and intelligence modifier. It's the same in Pathfinder, but in D&D, you can spend points to bring a skill up to the rank number of your level in said class plus 3. In Pathfinder, you can only bring it up to the class's levels that allow the skill, but you get a bonus 3 in that skill for putting your first point into it, meaning if you have climb as a fighter with a strength modifier of plus 3, you put 1 into it, it'd total up to 7 on climb checks without racial bonuses, of course. Of course, Combat's gotta be the same, right? Can't be that much different, right? Well, it is. Pathfinder is a lot more tactical than what it's based off of, and what it followed it. For example, a grapple check in 3.5, you just roll a standard attack roll. Great, your size or race might give some bonuses, but not many. A +4 at most, unless you had some spells on you, like Enlarge Person. Another +4 if you took Improved Grapple. In 5th edition, it requires you to be a specific class and subclass and feat in order to be able to grapple, so yeah, it's absolutely pointless. In Pathfinder, however, everyone is able to use combat maneuvers. Something I've talked about in my Starfinder review. In Pathfinder, you get combat maneuver bonus and combat maneuver defense. For your bonus, you add up your base attack bonus, your strength modifier, your size bonus, and anything else you may add into it, depending on the maneuver, and add it to a d20 roll. Some races or classes might get some extra bonus. In fact, some classes will outright specialize in combat maneuvers. Make sure you read your class to figure out what they do specifically. My friend got disappointed that the brawler shtick was combat maneuvers instead of, punching. Combat maneuver defense is a different calculation. You take 10, you add your BAB, base attack bonus, add your strength mod, add your dexterity mod, add your size category, and anything else that may come from, say, race and such. This acts like an armor class against combat maneuvers. Combat maneuvers should be looked at with planning in mind. They can be great if you coordinate with your group. Now, then we go into leveling up, because that is also very different. In 3.5, you got a feat every 3rd level and an ability score improvement every 5th level. In 5th edition, it depends on your class and you can only choose one of those two. In Pathfinder, you get a feat every odd level. One at level 1 unless you're one of the races that gets an extra one, or a class that gets a bonus one out the front gate. I'm looking at you, fighters! The list of feats is massive. There are 36 different categories of feats, some of which only take with other feats, class abilities, or racial abilities. And that's not even all of them, because every class gets choice abilities, which are sometimes called class feats. Every 4th level, you'll get to add an ability score improvement of 1. You can place it into any ability score you choose. You get 5 total as you level up, the last being at level 20. If you get basic idea of how these work, you pick an ability and increase it by 1. That ain't hard. Now, 3.5 had something called epic levels, which lets you continue leveling up past level 20. Unfortunately, Pathfinder doesn't have this. Instead, Pathfinder has mythic levels, which is like having a second class in addition to your base classes. You do not level this up with experience points though, but instead with story beats, major story quests. In fact, the sheet outright asks you what you did to gain the level. These also come with their own feats and such, though they tie directly into the standard feats too. Multiclassing is also different in Pathfinder, along with favorite classes. 3.5 punishes you for taking multiple classes. 5th edition makes it convoluted as possible. Pathfinder has 0 restrictions and can actually rewards you with a thing called favored classes. Most, if not all races, have a list of classes they prefer. They will get special abilities as they level up in that class. Some races get a favorite class in everything, like the Kitsune magic ability. Of course, I have complaints about this game, right? Honestly, not really. It's made really well and designed to make the game more fun and more optional, while not overwhelming players with options. My biggest complaint is how many books there are. But that's an easy problem that Paizo themselves go out of their way to fix. Paizo promotes a website called Archives of Nethys, which has almost everything for Pathfinder 1st and 2nd edition, aside from a few from the comics in 1st edition, and then Starfinder too. You could very easily find all the information on the internet, from lore with the wiki to the stats on Aeon. I genuinely can't give a complaint about this game. The most is how wild the lore is, but that leads to more GM choice, really. But without any complaints, I can't give this a score, because no game is truly perfect. Ship combat is janky as hell, but it's that way in Starfinder too. So I guess I could give this a 99%? Nothing is ever perfect, despite the fact that I want to give this a perfect score. Now, Trezin, let's go finish these sheets and go paint some dreadnoughts for the Wednesday video.
Yes, please. What can you tell me about dreadnoughts?
Soon. But for now, shove off.